The Omnic Weekly. Welcome everyone, it's Sunday, July 30th, and this is episode 150 of the Omnic Weekly. 150. Good God, that is a nice and round number. We've been doing this for 150 times, Hannah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I actually had
That is actually insane.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you checked on the comments that we got on the latest episode, our first video episode. There was someone that said that they watched all of the episodes from one we did last week, all the way back, and they're at episode 25.
Aww,
well,
that's
they not watched them, they
amazing.
listened to them.
Yeah.
That is insane. I don't want to know what we sounded like in episode 25.
I know.
I'll still do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm,
yes, we're
I'm
doing
pretty
it right
confident
now,
we got better. I'm pretty confident we got better. That's what I'm
Probably,
saying.
hopefully.
Like, those first episodes, I mean, it's episode 150. We can reminisce a little bit, and then I'm going to say
Absolutely.
hi to you. Hey, do you remember that we had this like crew that kept changing like every episode?
Yeah, I also remember how insanely anxious I was when we were first doing
Oh
this.
yeah.
And
Everybody.
now I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, we got used
I'll
to
lay
it.
down. I'll stare
Yeah.
at the ceiling.
That
I'll
is
drink
what.
tea.
This is one of the disadvantages of doing video recordings. Like sometimes Hannah would just be laying on bed with her laptop. I don't know where, kind of recording that way. And now I'm like, she's like, asshole. Now I had to sit up for an hour, for a whole hour.
I have to be at my desk. I have to be fully dressed. Jeez.
Hey, I had to put on a different t-shirt because the t-shirt I was wearing up till now was like really flashy red, kind of like your top. I mean, it's a good thing I changed it because we would have looked like we were
We could have been
synchronizing.
matching. That's fine.
I mean, we're not going to be that podcast that synchronized their clothes for a video podcast.
That's
But anyways, how you doing, Hannah?
I'm absolutely fine. A-okay. Not ill whatsoever.
Yeah, Hannah's slightly under the weather, so we need to cut her some slack. LP, how you doing? Oh wait, he's not here. Look.
Help me! I'm locked out of my car.
We got a message not too long before we started recording, like, guys, I'll have to skip this. Because that happens sometimes. He has to work and whatnot. He has really weird hours because of he's working for Misfits. They have all these events going on. But it turns out he had locked himself out of his car. He sent us a screenshot of a AAA.
He's stuck outside.
He went
like
grocery
the
shopping.
Grocery store. Yeah.
I feel like LP has a weird relationship with his car. Like, I've known him for, well, close to 150 episodes now.
We've known him for multiple cars, don't forget that.
Multiple what?
We've known him through multiple cars.
Exactly. He's one of the few people that I know so much about their car. Like, do you know what car I drive?
The Batmobile.
The Batmobile, yeah. I talked to you about when I bought it. There's like few people that drive that know that seen a picture of my car that know what the state of my car is. We are always up to date about the state of his car in the sense that
Always.
like a few weeks ago he had to go to the shop because there was, I don't know, he explained it to us, but something in his electronics or something
Honestly,
broke.
he talks about his car like we talk about our cats.
He does. Yeah. The easy thing is that we can put a camera on a cat and kind of use it to monetize this podcast. He
Absolutely.
Because he drives like a gray pickup van. I mean, it's not an ugly van, but it's not.
I do miss the Florida Mobile.
Yeah, the Florida Mobile was awesome. That was a bright yellow one. That was kind of cool. But anyways, LP couldn't make it today because he's somewhere in the middle of Florida. Good thing he's in Florida. If he had been in Belgium, he would have been soaking wet. But he's somewhere just standing there with a sleeveless shirt and his shorts and slippers, kind of nodding at every lady in bikini that walks by, waiting for AAA to arrive and to kind of get him in his car. I mean,
waving at the gators.
Yeah. He spends his Sunday that way, and we're going to be talking about Overwatch. But yeah, Hannah, we're going to take it slow today. We're going to make sure you can dive back into your bed as soon as possible. The reactions on last week's episode have been very good. People really seem to enjoy the fact that they can see our expressions and kind of see how silly we behave.
We are so silly.
It
We
is.
are the worst.
And it's just, when you sound so sick, it's really like you would almost have a sad violin under that. You're so silly. It's the worst. Yeah.
I can't even, like, my throat won't let me do the pitch.
Don't do the violence, son. We just that is kind of the first thing a doctor tells you when you get the flu or whatever. Do you know what you have? Because you got like the flu last time. What is it this time around?
COVID.
Really? Come on, all these years you've been escaping it for so long, and now you got it.
I haven't. This is my 4th time.
Wait, your 4th time? Are you kidding me?
No.
It's not a subscription, Hannah. Please. What are you doing? Where did you catch COVID? Yeah, I know where you caught COVID. LARPing. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're listening to this podcast, what happened now is that
muting. If you see a red light on my face, it's just because I'm muted.
Yeah, I don't need to see the red light. Just the act of you coughing really hard is kind of obvious. Yeah.
But like, just if my face starts glowing red, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. But look, we've gotten to the point where COVID has become this thing where people say, "Oh, I got COVID," almost like it's a cold or the flu. It's not. It used to be a lot worse. When people got COVID, we're all like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And now we're kind of alright.
I'm not okay.
Yeah. It still sucks. You still feel very sick, but.
I don't have a cup of tea today because if I'd have gone downstairs and then come back up the stairs to record, I wouldn't have been able to record. So I had to forego my tea.
Oh God! I hope you get through it really fast. Up till now, I've been managing to. I had it like once, I think. I definitely had it once. I don't think I had it. I mean, I don't know. I've had so many shots at this point. I think I'm immune to everything. So
that's the thing, like, because I'm considered a vulnerable person because I have asthma, which is part of the reason why it makes me like so breathless and stuff. Still,
oh yeah, it has an extra impact.
I am kind of on like a 6-month rotation for boosters.
And you still got it. Damn. Like I had my last booster like a year ago now. It's going to be a year.
I had mine just before or just after Christmas, so I am due another one.
Yeah. You're just at the end of your cycle. I mean, it's something we all know we're going to have to live with it. It's not going to disappear. It's there to stay. It's just going to be.
I also get flu jabs as well.
Oh damn!
That's
a lot of jabs.
Yeah, no, I get them again because of being vulnerable. I get them for free, which is nice. So I just get like a text saying you're due your jab, and then I go in and get
global
double.
Healthcare, guys. Remember, it's a thing. It works. In most cases. In the UK, it's kind of wonky. I'm going to be honest. Like the stories I've been hearing over here in Europe, it's good, but over there,
it's so sad. It is so sad what they're doing to our healthcare service.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, this is not a political podcast, but at some point, it's going to be a problem everywhere because some people just don't like other people to get stuff for free.
And some people really like to make money off of other people.
Oh yeah. But look, this is not the podcast for that. We're going to be talking about Overwatch. And to be honest, like, a lot is happening in Overwatch. I think...
I know!
Actually, my channels are growing again, which is the first time in months because, there has been a bit... Let's just say that the vibe surrounding Overwatch has been rather bad. And you know, as a content creator, you're the first to notice that. If you don't jump on that I hate it train and make a video every week trying to convince people that they need to stop playing the game... You will not. Well, for some exceptions, there are some people that make some awesome videos about how to play certain heroes. I mean, people like Questron. He makes amazing videos and he's growing really fast. But that's due to all the hard work he puts in and the fact that he knows. I mean, his strategies around Sombra are solid. So,
he's found his niche, which is also very important.
Yeah. And if we would be in better times, he would grow even faster because he's one of the most amazing Overwatch content creators we've seen in a long time, maybe ever. I really kind of dig what he's doing. He's a great kid. I'm saying this as an old man. He's a great kid, that one. Even for being Dutch, he's quite okay. But yeah, there's been look, we're getting into that season 6 vibe, and it is mind-boggling. But Overwatch, Blizzard at least, is actually doing sequenced PR marketing. They're kind of
I
putting work
know.
in
They're
to get
actually
everybody hyped up
putting in effort now.
for the first time ever in Overwatch 2 history.
Yeah, I can't remember which video it was, but you said it really well in one of your videos that they're finally taking off the early access.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They seem to be beyond that point. Like we've said that multiple times, and Hannah is very adamant about repeating this and kind of slapping the table when she does. Please don't. There we go. Don't do it now because you're sick. But yeah, up till now, Overwatch 2 has been in early access. They removed the label, they kind of hid it because they're actually also monetizing it, and they don't. It's kind of a bad mix. But like the first PR they did was early access. And I think they're kind of beyond that phase now. I think they feel like season 6 is going to be kind of like their launch instead of early access.
It does feel like a launch, I have to be honest. It feels much more like a launch than Overwatch 2 did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, exactly. I think they're kind of and look, season 6 is going to be stacked. I actually have a video coming out tonight on my channel that is going to kind of go back on everything that happened or that we get in season 6 and kind of, is this going to be the season that kind of is going to make the big difference? And I think when it comes to Blizzard's attitude, I think, I can already kind of confirm that this is definitely going to be different. I think Blizzard is going to be treating Overwatch differently from now on, clearly, hopefully.
Yep.
But look, they're spending a lot of money on the promotion.
So much money.
It's insane. Look, up till yesterday or the day before, I was like, okay, they kind of let's run over it. They have been doing ads in theaters, which how many games have you seen do that?
A couple, but not many.
Like in Belgium, I've never been to the cinema and gotten an ad for a game. I don't think I ever did up till now. I've not been to the cinema like in the last few.
Yeah, like it's
months,
not common, but I've seen a couple.
Yeah. Yeah, like GTA maybe, like those big titles. But other than that, but anyways, apparently a few people that went to see the Barbie movie, which I mean, I'm kind of giggling because that is kind of a weird mix to do it in front of a Barbie movie. But anyways, that is a very expensive movie to have an ad running for it.
Absolutely.
Like, it works in these tiers. It works in popularity of the medium, like it does on TV. If you can get an advertisement in a prime slot, it's going to cost you. Like Super Bowl, for instance, those ads are super expensive. Just to add super to everything. So if you want to get an ad in theaters in the States just before the Barbie movie, you're going to pay for that. So they spend a lot of money on that. There were also people that spotted like advertisements in the street, like just posters being plastered everywhere to promote Overwatch on bus stops, on walls and whatnot, which they haven't done, I think, up till the release of Overwatch 1. They did it
for Diablo 4.
They did it for Diablo 4, yeah, but for Overwatch, I think it's
Yeah.
been since the release of Overwatch 1 that we got to see. Like, remember the big statues they did?
Yeah.
That was like, I never got to see one personally, except for the one they then ended up putting in a BlizzCon. But I never saw one in a. I mean, they were only in big cities, but they used to do that. Blizzard has been. I remember for, I don't know what expansion it was, they put this huge cab on Times Square that had the I think it was Orgrim's axe was kind of nailed into it as if it kind of fell out of the sky, and it was they look at Blizzard, if they go out and start spending marketing money for reels, they really spend a lot of money. I guess they kind of like it. I mean, if you can do fun stuff like that, but so
I mean, it gets people talking about the game, so I'm sure
exactly.
comes back around. But...
Yeah, it really worked for them when, like on World of Warcraft. If you look at that big boom they had, like they at some point they reached like 12 or 14 million people. I think that was kind of the top. I mean, for like paying customers or something like that.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they ever went over 15, but I didn't check up on those numbers. But when they kind of had that peak moment, which was around Wrath of the Lich King, that was the result of them kind of promoting and marketing the game. They had a lot of stuff going on. But there's one story that is super interesting and actually has been on the minds and the tongues of a lot of people. So um, this week they started doing, well, they started out, I think it was Monday, if I'm not mistaken, they did the first sponsored stream. So
Oh,
I was
I
watching
have mixed
Seagulls.
feelings about it, but go on.
Yeah, we'll discuss it. Let me just kind of lay out everything that has happened. So I think it was on Monday. I was watching Seagull stream, and he suddenly started talking about having a sponsored Overwatch stream, and it was kind of okay. And he's changed his layover. He had a custom layover that was handed to him by Blizzard. And yeah, I'm just going to say, like, these sponsored streams, I know they're getting paid, but Seagull's audience does not need to hear him say, like, every 3 minutes, guys, make sure to check out, like, the whole sales pitch that he was doing. I mean, I think just everything else that happened was enough of a promotion. Just him and all these streamers, I think they all had to do it. They were kind of told to do it. That was part of their contract. We're kind of repeating, like, doing the sales pitch. We kind of broke the whole, how do you say that? I'm not
Broke
going to
the
see.
vibe.
Yeah, the vibe, the immersion was kind of, it really felt like they were forced to, like, you don't want to force them to say that. Let it kind of grow organically. Have your content, have the layover do the work. Because the layover was actually the focal point. And that started glitching. And remember the Sombra reveal where they had a whole month where they kind of teased a lot of stuff and had these puzzles in there. And people were kind of,
One of our favorites.
yeah. Well, I remember back in the day that we were all complaining that it took too long, but it was a lot of fun to kind of, I think it was even longer than a month to kind of have all these puzzle elements come together to figure out that in the end Sombra was going to be released. Well, they kind of did a similar thing where they had all these cryptic messages. They weren't too hard to decipher because they gave the key in which you should be deciphering it. It was just in there. But people started kind of noticing that it was a message being about an invasion that is coming. And you had this hooded figure that appeared that was kind of trying to hack into the system. And in the end, he succeeded at the end of the stream. He kind of did this thing with his hands and then it broke off. And we heard, all these streamers told us that there would be another stream last Friday. And there's another one going to be on August 4th and on August 10th. On the day of release, there's going to be another sponsored stream. So I made a video about who this could be and blah, blah, blah. Whole story arc, kind of coming to the conclusion that it is someone human, a male figure probably. I had this theory about Reaper, but I mean, it was like the tinfoil hat reach of.
I mean, it was a very good video.
Thank you.
Even if just to remind people of like other side characters that could appear.
Yeah. That was kind of
point.
Yeah, that was kind of my
refresher.
Exactly, and it was also my kind of. I wanted to kind of build on that arc of everything that was possible and who all could all be involved and kind of eliminate it along the way. And a lot of people seem to enjoy that video. But yeah, then on Friday I was watching the stream again, and we just get a continuation. There was a mention. So in the first video there was an enigma mentioned, which we haven't solved up till now. We don't know. The one of the reasons I kind of hinted at Reaper was because at some point he calls himself an enigma when Echo points out that why do you like hurting people? And he's like, yeah, I'm an enigma, deal with it. But this was, I don't know, it's a small tie, but it was there. And up to now we have not gotten an answer on the enigma. But then Friday there was a mentioning of an incident. Then there was more messages of no sectors coming, which started to kind of sound like this person was trying to warn us, which is kind of important, while it is not. It gave you the impression that it is important. So I was watching Seagull stream again, but Koba and Frozen, who help out with the content, they were watching CarQ, and I think Koba was watching Emong. Everybody was watching a different stream. And we were just sharing all the info that we got on Discord. And then at some point, we saw messages scrolling over the screen as clearly stating the invasion is coming, we need help, we need an army, and the time is now, which is really important. But at that point, when that ended, all we actually knew for certain was that he is human, because you got to see his hands a lot better.
You got to see those fingers.
You got to see those fingers, yeah. And besides that, it also, something that I noticed in the first video, but that I kind of attributed to it being distorted, and, you know, they can do some amazing stuff with the art. is that it looked really realistic. It didn't look like the more
Yeah, it was like,
fixable.
is it animated or is it filmed
Yeah,
with
exactly.
distortion? It
Yeah,
was.
it wasn't the typical Pixar style that we see in Overwatch. It was more like realistically, which is possible. I mean, they can do that. There's definitely games that have that level of realism, and especially for animated shorts, they would be able to do that. But that now kind of stood out. And then someone on Karkio's stream figured it out because we got some hints. We got initials JC, we got some numbers that could have been dates. Turns out at the end of the, I'm not going to go over all the hints, but just if you want to know all the details, yeah, watch the video if you want to know all the details. Turns out that hooded figure by 99%. Yeah, it's John Cena. So now the whole community is like, what? John Cena? First off, there were a lot of people kind of, when I kind of mention it, people are like, motherfucker, you're crazy. And then when I start explaining how he got there, they were like, oh shit. It actually makes sense because.
Actually, it is.
Yeah.
This could be true. This could be real.
On top of that, he later posted something, or he had posted something on his feed, I think like a few months ago already, about Overwatch. So this deal has been in the making for quite a while. And on top of that, there was one message that said like, the time is now. Now is the time is apparently his opening tune. My brother told me that. I told my brother because my brother is a big fan of WWE. Like I said in the video that he's a big fan of John Cena. And he messaged me like, hey, asshole, I'm not a fan of John Cena. I'm like, all right, chill, dude. And he's like, no.
Dude.
he was kind of, he wasn't mad about it at all. He was just laughing. Hey, I'm not really a fan. My reputation is and scams or whatever is ruined now because you told everybody that I'm a John Cena fan. But I remember me and him, he's really into WWE. And when we were kids, we used to watch WWF, which was the...
Which is what it used to be back in the day.
Yeah. There was the days of The Undertaker, The Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, like the old school. That was actually the time that The Undertaker came up, and now he's the retired wrestler that they kind of pony up like for WrestleMania to kind of get the audience in. But that back in the day, he was a young blood that came in. And I stopped watching it a few years in, like, but he kept watching it, like.
Yeah.
He actually spends money to follow the fees and whatnot. And at one time they were coming to Brussels with the whole circus. You know, it is like a circus, to be honest. It's like it's a show that travels the world, and they travel around the States, but also they'll occasionally just go around the whole world. And they just put a lot of wrestlers on the bus, and they kind of do this show over and over again every day. And they came to Brussels, like, and I think it was in 2000. Something, and he was like, I don't want to go alone, feel like coming with me, and I went with him, and that was my first time I saw John Cena. I had no idea who that was, but yeah, afterwards he became famous and became an actor, but yeah, apparently he wasn't a fan, but he told me that his opening tune, his how do you call it, his theme song. Yeah, it's called the time is now or something like that. Now is the time, which is the reverse of what was in the message, but it clearly is a hint at, I mean,
just another reference to him.
Exactly. And I blew up the image, like, I'm a graphic designer, so I took a still, I started messing with it, and you can see a face with a cap under the hood, and he's looking down.
Did enhance. You
I did the CSI thing where,
Yeah.
I actually tried to with AI, but AI was not doing it. They started putting all these flower patterns on top of his face and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. It was really weird. And then I tried another one, and that made these ugly face. Like, maybe I should post some of the screenshots that I got out of that. But like they put this mask on there, kind of. It looked creepy as fuck, but...
Oh my god.
So I went old school and started kind of messing with the levels and the brightness and whatnot, and you can see a face up to the nose, and there's a cap with the little... What do you call it? The front part of the cap?
The visor?
Yeah, the visor. It was kind of... He was tilting his head down, so you couldn't see his eyes. But, look...
He has a very Cena-esque jawline.
Yeah, it is quite clear that it is. I mean, I would be extremely surprised if it's not John Cena. Now, everybody was like, oh shit, are we getting John Cena in the game? Like, whoa, guys. I mean, back in the day, the only instance Blizzard did this was, I don't know if you remember this, Hannah. Back in the World of Warcraft days, they did this whole series of ads with William Shatner, with Chuck Norris, and there was one that they did with Mr. T. And Mr. T made this joke that he was so strong that he could make every character in game look like him. And what they did, they made this grenade that you could throw, the Mohawk grenade. And if you threw it, everybody that was in a certain radius of that grenade where the grenade landed got Mr. T's face with a Mohawk on top. So you had a Night Elf Mohawk, you had a Orc, and it was, I think I still have some in my inventory somewhere. But that is the only instance that they kind of brought a marketing campaign where that's what this is all about.
Outside in.
Yeah, they brought the outside in. They're not going to bring John Cena. I don't even think they're going to have him voice a character because he is shit expensive. Like, remember, guys, if you are an Overwatch hero, that is a commitment for at least a decade. I mean, look at all these voice actors that the Reinhardt voice soldier that had to come back to do new voice lines. And they, back in Overwatch 1, they had voice lines, I don't know, every 4 or 6 months that they maybe added. Now it's like every season they just kind of cram in all these new voice lines with PvE
Which is
coming.
fantastic for us, but
it is
expensive for Blizzard.
It is expensive. I mean, I hope they pay those people. I'm pretty sure they
I
do.
hope it's, let's put it this way, I hope it's expensive for Blizzard.
Like Carolina Ravassa and Josh and whatnot, that they get paid the amount that they're due and that they get to pay their price and whatnot. But if you want that kind of commitment from someone like John Cena, I mean, Dwayne Johnson did it for Fortnite, but that was for like a very limited series. I mean, it's not like that character is still in the game. I don't know if it's still in the game. I don't follow Fortnite.
I don't know. Maybe at best he'll do like a line or two in one of the story missions, but he's not going to be like a recurring character.
I don't think so. I don't think he's good. I think it's just like they did with Mia Kunis. Now, recently, last week, they did something with Mia Kunis for a World of Warcraft charity campaign that they're doing for Ukraine, and because she's Ukrainian, so she's kind of her organization is kind of involved in all that. And they did Megan Fox did an ad for Diablo where she acted as if she was in the world of Diablo, but she wasn't in the game. She didn't do a voice for the game, not at least for as far as we know. So I think it's going to be a similar thing. I think we're going to see next Friday or something, we're going to see a call out from John Cena telling us that we need to, that the game needs heroes to fight off the invasion by null sector. And I mean, I do think he might play Overwatch because he is known to be a gamer and to be an anime fan. Apparently, that's something my brother told me. I didn't know that, but apparently he's a big anime fan. But he definitely is a gamer. I knew that. So he might actually be playing Overwatch and kind of have some sympathy for it. And but I don't think. I mean, that must have cost him quite a lot of moolah to have him kind of join in this campaign, or he must have shown a lot of goodwill. So no, I don't think we're going to see the season 8 hero is not going to be John Cena. I mean, I'm going to look very silly if it turns out that they announce.
If it turns out that he becomes a recurring character, then.
I really hope it's not. I mean, I mean, I'm all in for some quirkiness and some liberties being taken with the Overwatch lore, like they did with the Hanzo thing and whatnot. Getting John Cena in the game, that might be a little of an overkill.
Yeah, it's... Overwatch is definitely a future time thing.
Yeah. Besides, I mean, that would even be like some creative liberty, but this is not Fortnite. I don't think, and having him play a character, that could be nice. But like I said, I think that would be too expensive. I don't think they have the budget to do that.
And like, yeah, I know we've had sort of like alternate universe stuff, particularly with, not Star Wars.
What? Not Star Wars?
Yeah, when we had our not Star Wars.
Oh yeah, with the Star Watch event, yeah.
Yeah, not Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was like an alt universe thing But this is a very lore-heavy, actually happening, actually progressing the story thing.
Yeah, canon.
And
This is yeah.
yeah, to bring in like actual John Cena
Yeah.
would cheapen the experience, I
Yeah, it
think.
would definitely. I don't think a lot of people
Mm.
would appreciate that. But we'll see what I mean. That is that is something. It's a guess that I'm pretty confident in that he will just be
Yeah.
doing a marketing campaign and that we'll see
I
him
ha-
on
as
TV.
disappointed that I am that it's not a big lore reveal and that it's just a marketing campaign. I also hope that because John Cena's involved, it stays just a marketing
Yeah,
campaign.
exactly. I have the same sentiment. I was also kind of disappointed to see it was just a marketing campaign and it wasn't like I was ready to kind of follow this through till the end and go like, okay, who could this be? And if it's someone new, where could it be tied in? And who is? I mean, it could be like I said in that one video. Like, imagine it being Reaper and this being a kind of a redemption arc start where he kind of is struggling with himself and noticing like, okay, I have my issues with Jack, I have my issues with Overwatch, I have my issues with humanity, but
I
my
have
wife
my
and my kid
issues
are
with
still out there.
littering.
Sorry,
I have my issues with littering.
littering,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, I was going to say he's like my wife and kid are there. I don't want to doom the humanity, but then he's kind of throwing around guns like they're candy. So yeah, that is actually a good point. He's going to wipe out humanity by loitering and kind of he's
mhm.
adding to global warming by throwing shotguns everywhere after 8 shots or something like that. I'm just kicking a cable now. That's not good.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, as long as I don't kind of pull it out, it's fine. Uh, but yeah, like I said, I was kind of disappointed. On the other hand, it like I said at the start, I'm happy that they're taking it more serious now, and that they're kind of going
Yes,
with the
definitely.
marketing, and that they're not kind of
Like, I will absolutely take this marketing. Like, I know I said I'm disappointed it's not lore. I will absolutely take this over the alternative of nothing.
yeah, exactly, kind of letting kind of expecting everybody to come back on their
Like
own.
I'm glad they're trying to pull in a bigger audience. I'm glad they're putting effort into their campaigns, and because they could very easily just keep paying for theater ads and they could very easily just keep slapping posters up all over America.
Mm-hmm.
But filming something like this takes like a team and it takes effort.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm
it is a
glad they're putting
plan.
that effort back into the game. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we're going to see in the next few months until let's say October or something, we're going to see these ads with John Cena on TV, as they probably
Mm.
did in the States for Diablo. And look at the amount of people they drew in with Diablo. And now, by the way, everybody's happy with Diablo again. I don't know if you heard. I mean, we did.
Well, yeah, because the dev team apologized and made some changes,
Yeah, they made
and
some promises and they should. But that is what, like we said last week, like,
mhm.
it is something. It is heartwarming to see. It is encouraging to see that happen. I'm
Yeah,
not agreeing with all the comments that the community had on Diablo. I think a lot of it is again some content creators being very loud about a certain problem, emphasizing that problem, kind of honing in on it, putting a spotlight on that problem, and everybody kind of echoing that same sentiment, completely ignoring all the other elements of the game, which happens in Overwatch
yeah.
a lot too. There are issues with Overwatch. Nobody's going to deny that, but we need to highlight the issues and kind of discuss with Blizzard how they can fix it. We need to kind of raise concerns, but not this kind of volatile, almost um, tar and
It's
feathers like mob mentality that is going on recently.
Yeah, it's definitely this awful mob mentality, and I've said it before, I will say it again. Reacting that much to every little thing really cheapens the reaction when it's truly deserved.
Exactly. What is the proverb, like boy cries wolf or whatever?
Yeah.
Like if you keep kind of yelling about, like, it just at some point it just all becomes noise, and it.
Hmm.
I think we as content creators have a responsibility in that, and kind of the way that we communicate and the way that we just that.
Yeah, I mean, you have influence over people. You are influencers.
Yeah, don't say
So
that.
I think it is important that you don't intentionally sort of rile people up.
Yeah, no. I think that is important. I know that like those videos get a lot more clicks, but it also kind of it jeopardizes the future of whatever you want to do. It really kind of it doesn't make a game healthier, and especially not the community healthier. Because if that like luckily Blizzard has been going through all these things, especially some of these people are veterans, and they've been going through some of these things before, not maybe at this scale because it's getting more ridiculous every single week. But luckily, they're still kind of capable of kind of separating some things. Like this is just the community just echoing a sentiment that is not correct. The perception
used
is not correct.
to entitled gamers.
Yeah. But you have entitled gamers and you have entitled developers, and I think you need to be in the middle. You have also you have developers, and Blizzard at times has been that entitled developer
Absolutely.
where they do not listen and they kind of no, but this is the way we're doing it. No, that is not going to work. We need the middle ground, and I think we need to understand that this needs to be a communication, that this needs to be, and that is something I personally feel the Diablo team understands better.
Oh yeah.
Look, maybe the Overwatch team doesn't. No, but I'm going to be careful here because we also need to take into account from where they're coming from. They're coming from deep. Diablo team has never been that deep as the Overwatch team has been. The Diablo team.
No, the Diablo team has a lot less baggage to deal with.
Yeah. They have baggage, but not as much. And everything kind of. If you look at every like the way Overwatch 2 rolled out, if you look at all the big points, like I think when they told us the last piece of bad news they told us was that there were going to be less of these masteries. That was the last kind of piece. And I think at that point they were like, okay, we got all the skeletons out of the closet. Now it's time to start building again. But up till that point, there was just one skeleton after the other coming out of the closet. Seasons that were working, like systems were not working, matchmaking was not working, and PvE got kind of torn apart, and yeah. So all these sequences happen. So they've been in a downward spiral. Well, the Diablo team has not been a downward spiral. There has been a lot of anticipation, expectation. There was some baggage from Diablo 3, but Diablo 3 in the last few years has been doing pretty well. Everybody was quite happy with the experience. And they
had the baggage of Immortal, and they had the baggage of 3, but it's a little bit further back, and there haven't been like big controversies with it since.
No, exactly. I think the Diablo team is just handling it better now than the Overwatch team is, and I think the Overwatch team has the will to get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just need to organize around it. I think they're understaffed right now, and that they need to okay, are we going to make content or are we going to be talking to the community? I think the Diablo team is in a better spot. I also think that Overwatch is not as easy a game to pivot. Some instances, I think around PvP, it is easy to pivot. Like the PvE, I think they probably got a lot of feedback when those content creators, in case you did not know, like a few content creators had the chance to play the game a few weeks ago, and I know for a fact that some content creators are playing it right now. Like some of them pulled an XQC apparently. Someone in my community told me that Question was one of them accidentally pulled an XQC, but was quick to rectify that situation, and nothing was spoiled or nothing went wrong. But they are apparently playing it right now. I don't think there's a lot they can do with that feedback. I think there's some minor points that they can change, but PvE is not as flexible to change as PvP is, because it's not based on systems. It's based on a lot of story tied into how do you call that? Like a scenario that gets played and whatnot.
Yeah, it's not like at this stage they're going to be able to like change the direction of the story. Or...
No. But kind of like one of the comments that a lot of people had is like, okay, it's like a lot of this wave-based kind of one enemy after the other. Yeah, I don't think there's much they can change to that in this instance, but probably for the next one that is going to be different.
But again, they've said this already, that this is why they're only releasing 3 now.
Yeah,
is so that they have time to
do
make
better
what we want.
Yeah, exactly. But I really hope that the Overwatch team gets to that same kind of spot as the Diablo team is right now, where there was a complaint, and literally like a few days later did this what is it called? It's not campfire chat, is it? Yeah, I think it might be campfire chat that they call it. I don't know. It's something with fire and a chat.
Their dev update.
Yeah, it's like a dev update. Yeah. And the good thing is they didn't just they really went nitty gritty. They really went like, okay, we made a mistake there. This is the beauty of what they do. That really, as someone that worked or still works till the end of August in this industry, that is something that pleases me, is to see how they kind of take a comment by the community, they dissect it, and they go, look, guys, you made a mistake, you're right, but this was what we were thinking. There's no way for us to know, and that is true. That is something we should not forget. Game development is never, ever, ever, or in rare cases it is, but in most cases, it's not a case of, this is going to be the result of this action that I'm taking. Like for every action
it's
you take,
an art
it's like
rather than a science.
Yeah, exactly. You need to put it out there and see what the reactions is or what the results are, because even in balancing, it is very hard to predict. And you can have models run over it. Like they have these models that kind of try and predict how it will turn out. But the thing is that we as players are so different as individuals. We are so creative in the ways that we look at the freaking, which is a nice segue to the next topic I wanted to talk about. But the Mischief and Magic, the prop hunt, they had to nerf it 2 days in. Why? Because someone had discovered that you can kill the hunters with the rogues by just by repeatedly stunning them.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, literally the next day they had to nerf that because we as a community, millions of players, had discovered that. That tells you how difficult it can be to kind of build these things.
Yeah, like little in-house simulations cannot compare to the millions of like
creative minds that
play.
Yeah.
This is before we even add creativity. Like just the millions of people who were going through it and basically running your simulation for you. And then you add creativity and just, the human mind in general to it. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how thoroughly you test your product. It cannot compare to giving it to millions of humans.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to be careful. But the fact that they explained what their goals were and how they missed their goals because of what happened, that is like, there's no more room for any angry content creator to go in there and go like, no, you guys fucked up. No, shut up. No, this is the reality. This is, I can't emphasize that enough.
This is our process. This is why we made the mistake that we did, but this is what we were trying to do, and we're going to still try and get to that point.
Exactly. I cannot emphasize this enough. There are some things that Blizzard does to make money, and those are kind of clear.
Oh, yeah.
The moment you start saying that they're kind of no fun allowed, if that is one of your things, or that they are purposely doing things to annoy you, you need to take a step back. You need to stop playing that game for at least a few weeks.
I don't want to use the phrase touch grass, but that's kind of where we're headed.
Yeah, exactly. The worst business model they could have is to piss us off.
Yeah.
But that being said, they do have systems in place that want to make them money, and I am more than willing to discuss if those systems are not a little too ramped up, a little too hard for what they actually like. You know what I mean? Like they could easily get away with making less money and still being able to kind of do everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And in no way, I'm not a big fan of people that do jack shit to help out with the product, making money out of it. And I'm talking about the shareholders at Activision Blizzard. I'm talking about those big wigs that just go for expensive lunches every afternoon and make, crap-ass decisions and force them on the rest. Those people can fuck off from my... I need to be careful here because this is going to be on YouTube. But it's a video of an hour. I mean... I think you're allowed one curse word every 20 minutes or something. We'll see.
Oh, God. Okay.
Worst case, it's get demonetized. Who gives a fuck? I'm not making a lot of money anyways. But what was my point again? Oh, yeah. Like, don't go to that place where you think that you're doing stuff deliberately to piss us off, because no, that's not even true.
No, with anything, going all the way to the extreme is never a good idea. The world is not black and white.
Exactly. But I will repeat again. There's definitely issues that need to be solved. While we're doing this, I'm going to plug in my headset. Live on camera. There we go.
Woo!
Yeah, I think a piece of my beard went in there, but I'll deal with that
Oh, you'll
problem.
be fine.
I'll
It'll
deal with
help
that problem
power it.
after.
Yeah.
They definitely like the customer support isn't what it needs to be.
No.
Like one of my community members had her name taken from her because her I don't know if I should. I don't think she'll mind that I tell you guys this, but she has a name because she is gay herself and she plays Tracer. You can imagine the combination that she made, and
You can work it out.
yeah, exactly. And it is in no way because yeah, she's gay herself. Like it is in no way with any malintent. It's like she's a gay Tracer player, but some people apparently in the other team were very upset with it. And she was like, "What are you talking about? I'm gay myself. Just it's not like she is like a 12-year-old boy going, oh, you're gay. Oh,
you're gay.
No, she's just like proud and a proud gay Tracer player. But the other team reported her. You guys suck. And she lost her name. And
I've seen way worse names.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen names that are simply plain out racist or like plain out homophobic, and those are sticking around, even if you report them. I haven't had a positive response to any of my reports in over a year.
Are they still doing the thing where they tell you if they acted on your report?
I don't know. I'm starting to think they don't, because
I've reported so many. Like, one of my favorite things to do in Overwatch is clean up the community, right?
Yeah,
you know,
totally get it.
As soon as even if it's not directed at me, as soon as I see any kind of abusive or inappropriate comments in chat, I'm like, right.
Yeah, I try to do that as much as possible. When I'm streaming, it's kind of hard because
my
community doesn't want to see me. Like I go through it really quickly sometimes, just go without any comments. And those reports, maybe I don't have a. But yeah, I definitely like. I've had instances where people, like not too long ago, I had someone because the support did not pick the character they wanted them to play. That just was kind of sitting in spawn and just doing enough to not be kicked. And that was it. And telling us off like we were assholes. Oh, that was one of my best reports I've ever written.
Oh man, no! I had a tank who decided to start picking on one of the enemy DPS.
Oh really?
Yeah, but because we're on console, and I know you can have keyboards, and you can tell who has a keyboard because they'll insult you faster, right?
Oh yeah.
Because they don't have to sit there and go beep 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 to try and get the words out. And this tank was clearly trying to insult the DPS on a controller, which meant that he would just stand there and not play the game as he was sat there typing out all of these insults. And I was like, not only am I reporting you for inactivity, not only am I reporting you for throwing, I'm reporting you for insulting someone unnecessarily. Like,
yeah.
It was a good day.
Yeah, there are some really big assholes out. It's just the classic case of anonymity. Anonymity. Oh my god, it was a difficult one.
It's a nasty word, to be fair.
I'm pretty sure about 99% of the people that talk smack to me in game
would 12-year-old boys
would not do it if they were standing in front of me.
No, because
I wouldn't be able to hear them because they would be too low. I wouldn't be able to.
Exactly.
The height difference would kind of mess them up. It's just, but I've also been working on kind of, look, if I see someone being salty to someone else, not even when it's not me, I'll point that out. There's no need to be an asshole. There's no need to be rude. There's no need to be like,
yeah, I can't type that out fast enough on a controller, so I'll just report them. I'll wait until the end of the match and be like, oh, this person said X, Y, Z. They said this many times, or they were doing it throughout the match.
Yeah. I I used to get kind of if people were not performing as I expected them, I used to get a little, not going to say upset or something, but I was like, but
A little
I
bit
started,
tense.
yeah, but I started to realize like someone could just have been having a bad day. Someone could be having a mad match. It could be a 12-year-old kid that is playing on his big brother's account. Like there's all these scenarios in which, and sometimes it's just
The
someone.
cat could have walked into the room and started screaming at them. Like
Exactly. Or it could be the cat that is playing, actually.
it
You
could
never
be the
know.
cat trying to play. You don't know.
There's no need. It's a game. I mean, it's a freaking video game. There's no need to get upset. And once I kind of started kind of embracing that for myself, I do have to say, sometimes on stream I can get a little, still a little tense if it gets a little too roary and whatnot. But that is done. I'll just mute everybody at that point. But I also, when I see someone speak out, I'll generally kind of just go like, hey, there's no need to be rude to this person.
Yeah.
Even if they only have like one kill as a DPS, and yeah. So, what are you going to do? How is this person going to perform better if you start yelling at them? It won't. So many reasons that this might have happened. We all have had these matches. We all have had these days. We're not performing in every single match in the same way either. That doesn't exist.
And that's the other thing. Like, if you don't practice in quick play, where are you supposed to practice?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, I also got my little sister. I feel like we veered off immensely, but I think our previous point was like, okay, hopefully what the Diablo team is doing is really nice. It is exactly what we need in the Overwatch team. That is going to bring down the level of anger and toxicity, because there's no room for interpretation.
I feel a bit like a jealous child. Like, I want that. I want that.
Yeah.
I want what my siblings getting.
Yeah. I'm actually, like I've said it last time too, but I'm actually thinking of, I might do it after the recording, but to tweet out and to kind of, I know that Jared News follows my account and that he sees what I tweet. To kind of, and he might reply to that. I mean, I might even tag him in there. Just to be.
Go, hey, Jared. Mwah.
I sometimes do that. And he doesn't always reply, but sometimes he just likes it. And other times he will reply.
That's enough. It means you know that he's read it.
Yeah. Or other times he will just not react at all, because it might give a signal that, or sometimes he probably doesn't even see it. I mean, but
it's so easy to miss things sometimes.
Oh, especially on whatever it's called now.
Don't say it.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, like that whole platform has become, for me, it's become this narrow kind of line on communicating with my community and kind of broadcasting.
It's such a mess.
Yeah, but I don't kind of veer off to, like, you used to kind of go into these rabbit holes and kind of find new people and find no, I'm sticking to my own little pathway, kind of do the posts, and occasionally I'll chime in with my personal opinion. I'll add something personal. I'll communicate with someone that comments on one of my tweets or something like that. But it's like, I feel like I'm in a very icky bathroom, you know? I'm going to
it's a very tight bubble these days.
Yes.
It's very hard to like reach new people, I think.
I don't know where that platform is going, and not in a good direction, definitely.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, but
I think I'm pretty sure people are using it because there's no appropriate alternative yet.
No.
Like I know there are other apps and stuff that people are trying out, but
they can't catch that same momentum. There's like that reach on that platform is still so big, and Threads was getting close, but then they decided to not incorporate Europe because they want to steal all your information, which is also
the excitement for Threads died so fast.
Yeah,
I
of
was
course,
reading something like yesterday or the day before where they're down to like a quarter of their initial user base already.
Yeah. But that is the thing, if you don't evolve your platform fast enough, but also if you exclude, like, at this point, I think with everybody they're excluded. I think Russia is excluded for, well, obvious reasons. Europe is excluded for the whole fact that they can't leech all our info, and the European
Europe said, change it or we're not accepting this, and they said no.
Yeah. There are just rules, and to be honest, I don't want Europe to change that, because I want to make sure that's what we pay them for, is to kind of make sure that they protect our.
I say
they do a bad job enough already.
It's you. I can use Threads in the UK because I'm not a part of the
your
EU
government.
anymore.
Your government doesn't give a fuck.
No.
But yeah, it doesn't help that like one of your biggest target audiences is completely excluded. I think, let's say, about 20% of their market is not able to use it. So, and yeah, they can't. They don't seem to be able to evolve it quick enough. You need to. I think it is very healthy to kind of take what works for the platform without a name for now, and to kind of take that. But then you need to veer it off in a direction where you really kind of. And I think Kick did that in a way for streaming, and it's not the success story that they probably want it to be. I think they still have a long way to go. But one thing they did is actually make Twitch work harder. So every time like someone like Kick comes around, we had the same thing with, what was the other platform not too long ago that also tried to get some attention away from Twitch? Every time that happens, it really kicks Twitch and the proverbial butt and makes them work harder and kind of roll out these features that we've been asking for.
Yeah, they realize they're not the only person on the market. This is why competition is healthy.
If they don't push back, they know they're going to be, because Kick, apart from the ethical implications, because apparently the money comes out of the gambling industry for the most of that platform.
Jesus.
Their offer is right now at this moment is way more in the advantage of a streamer. It's like 95-5, where Twitch in most cases is 50-50, and have this new feature that they rolled out that is supposedly 70-30. Like it's like the tip system that you have, like you could have tips on Twitch via PayPal and whatnot, like if you use Stream Elements. And they added this system themselves that is supposedly 70-30, but behind your back, they kind of charge you a 5% fee for this, 5% fee for that, and at the end, you're still kind of screwed over. Man, I hate it when those types of companies just kind of they and it's all to please the like. If you would have a platform that is just like, okay, we're going to organize this, we're going to make sure everybody that is involved is getting paid. We don't have shareholders that need to make a shit ton of money, that need a boat. We just want to make sure there's a decent platform.
No more yachts. No more yachts.
I mean, it would be hard. It would take a few years to get it done. But in the end, I think on the long run, I think it would actually...
it would be so good.
It would be better. I don't know, like I know for a fact that Twitter used to kind of lose a lot of money because they didn't have monetization. Same with Facebook, that they didn't have any way to monetize, so they were just kind of getting investors involved and putting that money in there, and the investors didn't get anything back. So
Facebook, the reason why Facebook is free is because everyone who uses it is the product. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the whole social media story is something that is going to have some really weird twists and turns. I don't know where it's going to end up. But anyways, we're veering off again. Before we end, because you need to go to bed and we're already an hour in.
I do. I'm looking at my bed and it looks so comfy.
Let me quickly go to Prop Hunt. Have you been playing Prop Hunt?
I've not been playing this week, so I've not been feeling up to it.
Okay. Well, let me then share my experience. I think Prop Hunt, or Mischief and Magic, has been one of the most fun limited time modes, and if not most fun limited time modes they've ever done.
Is it until the end of the season now?
No, it's still next Tuesday. So not this Tuesday, Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not like it's something that you'll play days on end. Some people do. Definitely, there are people out there. But like with all the other modes, I had like 5-6 games and I'm done. And there's about maybe 2 or 3% of the community that keeps playing it for longer. Now I feel like...
Yeah, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to play this until I get my Battle Pass XP, and then I'll stop playing the game.
Yeah, I get all the challenges. But this mode, I actually played beyond my challenges, because it does have... I did a whole stream of playing it. Yeah, I was just having fun. And I think there's a bigger part, not like 2 or 5%. I think there's actually 20 to maybe even 30% that still plays it regularly on a daily basis. I think It's not
Nice.
the one mode that will replace quick play and which is never going to happen, but it is a valuable mode that they should consider to bring back in some way, way better than
Something
capture
that
the flag. And
people would be excited to have return.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
even if they kind of dress it up differently, so it's not themed just for the season.
exactly.
So long as the core gameplay stays the same.
If they add more maps, if they add more props, if they add different teams, if they kind of put some energy into that mode. Where, I mean, I'm not going to say that they did put energy in this mode. You can tell that they worked on this and that they thought about this. Apart then from the issue where hunters could be killed by the rogues by stunning them repeatedly. But no, it feels polished. It feels, and I think it doesn't feel too gimmicky. There are people that have comments like, "Oh, in the real prop hunt, you take damage every time you stab an object, and it's not the correct one." Yeah, okay. In a game like Overwatch, where literally the whole map is kind of riddled with items that don't really have a fixed spot, you would be dead. I mean, it would be impossible to kind of figure out who it is. Or they need to kind of ramp up there's a whole system. So you haven't played it, but if you are a prop, after a certain time, your character will start speaking, so that they will know where you are. So they'll hear you. And
the
longer,
you can't just stay hidden forever.
Yeah, exactly. And the longer you kind of are hidden, the more frequent they start making noises, so they can find you. So they would need to ramp that up, which would pose other problems. I think, to be honest, I think it's fine the way it is. That, yeah, sure, people are kind of stabbing everything. They look like, I don't know, an Italian mobster from the 30s, just going stabbing everybody that they kind of put into. But no, it's a fun mode. They did a really good job. I like it.
Good.
And
I will definitely make sure I get some in.
Yeah. Definitely give it a try. I think you're really going to enjoy it because it has these hilarious moments. Like, I had a few moments where I just changed last minute. For the people that don't watch the video podcast, Hannah just had her cat pen kind of peek out on the bottom of her camera.
I'm sat here like just fiddling with the pen, so every time I gesture and talk, the pen's like flying all over the screen.
It's a cat
and then
pen.
I realized, oh yeah, it's my cat pen. I should show people.
It's a cute pen. No, I lost my train of thought. Like a cat, one cat, and I'm distracted. One cat and I'm distracted. Oh yeah, these funny situations. I had one instance where they found me. You can stun them if they find you, and you can rapidly kind of teleport away. So you basically disappear in a cloud, and then like a split second later you appear again, but as a different prop. And I just rushed around the corner. I changed into a closet, and I had like 4 of these Genjis rushing past me, going, "Oh, where is he?" And there was like my whole team was, "How the fuck did you get away with that?" These hilarious moments where they just kept passing me by. If you can get really lucky, and those are the moments that you kind of that make that whole mode. It's so much fun, and I would advise everybody to not take it too serious. I've really seen some people getting sweaty in that mode, and I think that is the fun thing about this mode. Is that it's not intended to be sweaty. It's intended to be fun.
Yeah,
it's intended
it's
about
just good old-fashioned silly Overwatch times.
It's hide and seek. It's hide and seek like you played as a kid. Don't make hide and seek competitive. It's like
we literally have multiple competitive modes at the moment for that.
Yeah, exactly. Look, the fact that people would just kind of like as soon as someone on Reddit posted that they were able to kill all the hunters coming out of spawn because they grouped up, I was like, all right, you just ruined the experience for these other 5 people. For you guys, it's funny. You guys, they got a Reddit video out of it, but you just kind of, and then everybody started doing it. And then they had to nerf it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Or people kind of hiding in the weirdest kind of on roofs and whatnot. Okay, I like the roof thing is kind of okay. You just need to check the roofs. That's as simple as that.
If you can get up there, good for you. Like,
yeah, but everybody can get up there in the end. So it kind of breaks the bounds a little bit, and it kind of adds an extra layer. It kind of breaks the lore. Like, okay, there's a bench standing on top of the roof. That doesn't make any sense.
I did that found you.
Yeah, but you can, as a Genji, you can dash up there, you can get it. So you just need to check. I think it adds it. The whole stun thing. So many people were like, even Jared News was like, oh, this is sad. But he understood why. But a lot of other people were like, oh, Blizzard won't allow us to have fun. Well, no, look.
No, you're not allowing us to have fun by
yeah,
posting this video.
Exactly. You're the one not letting everybody else have fun.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Exactly. That's it. Just don't make it too sweaty. There's no need. Chill. Like, if you need to make everything competitive, you need to reevaluate the life. Then something is missing. Maybe you need to do, I don't know, start doing a sport. Maybe. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, there's other things you can do. All right. Old man D has given his speech. Sorry?
You want to be competitive? Go play comp.
Yeah, exactly.
It's right there.
There's so many comp modes already. All right.
Let us casual plebs just have fun.
Yeah, I just want to kind of hang in my chair, kind of taste my Pepsi, and go like, oh, look, I'm a chair. All right, life's good. And take a sip. That was it for today, Hannah.
All right.
I think these people are done with our voices and our faces by now. LP. Oh, never mind. You can find LP as Lance Pons.
Still locked out.
Yeah, check his Instagram and his Twitter. He might tweet about it. I think he kind of I saw him yesterday. He posted a story of being at a gig, so I think he might. I don't know. He might have still be a little tired from yesterday and kind of.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah, and then forgot that his key was in his car. We'll find out after we record this. Hannah, where can these good people find you?
Oh, on the platform, the bird platform.
The bluebird.
The bluebird. At Plush Noodle.
I wonder, are we, because we're so stubborn and calling it the bluebird platform, are we the same level of people that go McCree and Cassidy?
Yeah.
I hope not. No, we're not.
Do you know what I was going to... Okay, quick segue before we finish, because this is a funny story. I was going to do a big rant on Twitter about how I was going to keep calling it the old name, and I was like, oh my god, I sound like one of those assholes that just A, refuse to rename Cassidy, and B, I sound like I'm refusing to use someone's new name.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna delete all of this.
Yeah.
I just yeah.
I don't think we're the same, but it is actually close. It's evolution.
And I was like, I don't want this to seem like that, so I'm just gonna shut up.
But in the end, it's evolution, and sometimes evolution will drive things into the ground, but you can't stop it. Like, he is going to drive that platform wherever he wants to drive it, and probably he's going to end up in court. You know what and then I'm going to give you guys my information, so go check out Plush Noodle. But what I once heard him comment about the fact that he thinks that he is convinced that we live in a simulation. If you're really convinced that you live in a simulation, you do shit like this. You just kind of, there's no way you're accountable for anything. You think you're just going to wake up after all of this bullshit and kind of be an old man in some kind of pod.
Carry on.
Yeah, and it's just some kind of it's some type of game basically. But anyways, fuck that guy. You can follow me as Deemzies TV on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. And for all your information on Overwatch, there's a new video coming tonight. Check out the Omnic post on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. You can follow the Omnic Weekly, the podcast, on Twitter and Instagram if you want to be updated on new episodes. But the best thing to do is to subscribe on whatever platform you're watching or listening. That's the easiest way to do it. You'll just get the update. So do that right now. All right. Guys, thank you very much for watching and for listening. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.